When people think of hot glue, most only imagine using it to bond lightweight materials like wood, fabric, or plastic. But hot glue can actually be used in another extremely useful way in DIY, shaping and quickly molding small parts. By taking advantage of its melting temperature and fast curing behavior, you can use hot glue to make temporary molds, create anti-slip pads, seal wire ends, reinforce joints, or even form custom mini pads, however you like. Ready to see hot glue like you've never seen before? Hit that like button. Subscribe for more clever DIY hacks. Grab your glue gun and let's dive in. After cutting the hot glue sticks into small pieces, put them all into a bowl. Next, grab an empty can and carefully cut off one end. Make sure to use sturdy scissors or a utility knife and work slowly so the cut is clean and even. This open-ended can will act as a simple container for the next step. Now take the small pieces of hot glue you prepared earlier and drop them into the open can. Make sure they're spread out evenly inside so they melt more smoothly. Using a heat gun, carefully heat the can from the outside, moving the flame or hot air around evenly. For the next step, start by getting a can of WD-40 ready. This multi-purpose spray will help keep the melted glue from sticking to the surface and make it much easier to remove later. Next, I'll grab a plastic container to hold the next set of materials. Prepare some foam and cut it into small pieces. Use a sharp utility knife or scissors to get even chunks. Place the foam pieces into the plastic container, arranging them so they fill the bottom evenly. Then give the foam a light. Even spray of WD-40, making sure all the surfaces get a thin coat. As soon as you start spraying WD-40 onto foam, you'll notice the surface beginning to soften and dissolve, almost like the way foam breaks down when mixed with gasoline. The texture slowly shrinks and warps, creating a melting, bubbly effect right before your eyes. After the foam is completely dissolved, it turns into a thick, sticky substance that looks and feels a lot like glue. The mixture becomes smooth and gooey, perfect for molding or using as a unique adhesive in your next step. Next, add more pieces of foam into the container and give them another spray of WD-40. Watch as the new foam starts to melt and blend into the sticky mixture, gradually thickening the glue-like substance and creating an even smoother, more workable texture. After that, sprinkle some baking soda into the mixture. Add it little by little while stirring gently. This will help thicken the glue-like substance and give it a more stable, paste-like texture that's easy to shape and use. Once the mixture is thoroughly stirred and smooth, carefully pour the foamy paste into the can that contains the melted hot glue. Do it slowly to avoid splashing, letting the sticky blend settle, and merge evenly with the liquid glue inside the can. Next, let's take a look at a wooden chisel that's missing a handle. This bare metal tool is still sturdy, but without a proper grip, it's difficult to use, making it the perfect candidate for a creative DIY fix with the mixture you've just prepared. Without the handle, holding the chisel is awkward and uncomfortable. The bare metal shaft is slippery and hard to grip, and pressing down while carving puts a lot of strain on your fingers. After a while, it can even cause your hand to ache or slip, making the tool tricky and unsafe to use. Now it's time to prepare a mold. Take a wooden board and cover a section of it with tape. This taped area will act as a base to hold the mold in place and prevent the glue foam mixture from sticking to the board while it sets. For the handle, I'll use a cardboard tube as the mold. This tube will shape the glue foam mixture into a comfortable grip for the chisel, keeping everything in place while it hardens. Secure the cardboard tube onto the wooden board. Make sure it stands upright and is firmly attached using tape or clamps. I need to hold the chisel upright using a homemade clamp. This improvised clamp will keep the metal shaft steady and vertical, ensuring the handle sets evenly around it without tilting or slipping. Now, go back to heating the can of melted hot glue. Gently warm it until the glue is fully liquid and smooth again, ready to be poured into the mold. Carefully pour the melted glue foam mixture into the cardboard tube mold around the chisel. Pour slowly and evenly, making sure the mixture fills the entire space and surrounds the metal shaft completely. Once the mold is filled, carefully insert the chisel into the center of the cardboard tube. Make sure it stands straight and the metal shaft is fully surrounded by the mixture, so the handle sets securely in place. Let the mixture sit and harden completely. Give it enough time to cool and solidify, so the handle becomes firm and sturdy, ready for use. Once it's completely dry, the handle becomes solid and sturdy. It feels firm in your hand, providing a reliable grip and adds strength and stability to the chisel, making it much easier and safer to use than before. After it's fully hardened, carefully remove the mold. Gently peel away the cardboard tube and any tape, revealing the newly formed handle securely attached to the chisel. To make the process smoother, wet the cardboard tube lightly with water, either by pouring a small amount around it or using a spray bottle. The water makes it much easier to remove the mold without damaging the surface of the handle, leaving a clean and well-shaped grip ready for sanding or finishing. The paper slides away smoothly with very little resistance, almost like unwrapping a protective layer. You don't need to tug or force anything. The handle comes free effortlessly. Revealing a neat, solid shape underneath. Use sandpaper to remove any bits of paper still clinging to the surface and to smooth out the handle. Start with a coarser grit to get rid of leftover fibers. Then gradually move to finer grits for a polished, even finish. This not only cleans the handle, but also makes it comfortable to hold and ready for any further finishing or painting. After sanding is complete, the handle should feel smooth and clean, free of any leftover paper or rough spots. The surface will be even and comfortable to grip, giving the chisel a professional, finished look and making it ready for use. When you hold the chisel after sanding, it feels remarkably comfortable in your hand. The handle's smooth, even surface fits naturally in your grip, with no rough edges or splinters to irritate your fingers. Pressing down or twisting the tool feels secure and effortless, making it easy to work for extended periods without discomfort. When you start using the chisel, the new handle makes a noticeable difference. You can apply pressure confidently without slipping, and the tool responds precisely to your movements. This mixture can actually serve as a substitute for wood in certain applications. Using this mixture saves both time and money. You don't need to source, cut, or sand real wood, and the curing process is much faster than traditional woodworking. When using a hammer to strike the chisel, the new handle absorbs the impact well, giving you a solid, stable grip. Each blow transfers force efficiently without causing your hand to slip or ache, allowing you to work with precision and power. The handle feels balanced and secure, making chiseling much safer and more comfortable. If you found this hack useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more clever DIY tips and tricks. Grab your tools, get creative, and start making your own custom projects today. And after making use of hot glue for those convenient little tips, we can carry that same DIY spirit into more practical tasks around the house. One of those is fixing light bulbs that seem like they're ready to be thrown away. Now, I'm going to move on to a guide on how to handle and repair a damaged light bulb with a few simple but highly effective steps. So get ready, and let's start fixing that LED bulb together. And don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to catch more useful DIY videos coming up. There are a few common reasons why LED bulbs stop working. Sometimes it's just a loose connection inside the base. Other times, one or more of the tiny LED chips may have burned out. Overheating is another big factor. If the bulb doesn't have good ventilation, the heat can damage the circuit board. In some cases, the driver, the small power supply inside the bulb, fails, which cuts off the current to the LEDs. By understanding these causes, we'll know exactly where to look and how to fix the problem step by step. Now I'm going to mark these two bulbs to prove that this repair method really works and isn't just a trick. Alright, now that we've gone over the causes and marked the bulbs, let's move on to the actual repair. First, we need to open up the bulb to find out exactly which part is damaged. To open the LED bulb, hold the base firmly with one hand and gently twist or pry the housing off with the other hand. If it feels too tight, you can use a thin, flat tool like a small screwdriver or box cutter to carefully pry around the edges until the housing pops off. Be careful not to crack the housing or damage the internal components. Once the housing is removed, you will see the LED chip and circuit board inside. Ready for inspection. Everything looks normal. There are no signs of burning or short circuits, so the problem must be with the LED chips themselves. Next, I need to check which LED chip is faulty. To do this, I'll power the circuit with a low voltage source and carefully observe each chip. For this test, I'll use a battery. When I touch the battery leads to the circuit, you can see most of the LED chips light up, but there's one that stays completely off. That's the faulty chip, and it's the reason the entire bulb isn't working. Let's measure the voltage of this battery itself. When I place the multimeter probes on the battery terminals, the display shows about 9 volts, which confirms that the battery is working properly and ready for testing the LED chips. Next, I'll prepare a piece of solid copper wire. This type of wire is stiff and easy to shape, making it perfect for bridging or bypassing a faulty LED chip. I'll cut a short length, strip off any insulation if needed, and get it ready for the repair step. Next, I'll take the 2 pieces of copper wire and straighten them out. Using a wire stripper or a small knife, I carefully remove the outer insulation to expose the shiny copper core inside. Now I'll file down one end of the copper wire to make it thinner and sharper. This helps the wire fit more precisely onto the tiny contact points of the LED chip. Ensuring a better connection when we bypass the damaged part. We need to make the tip thinner because the contact points on an LED chip are very small. If the wire end is too thick, it won't sit properly on the pads and could even touch nearby components, causing a short circuit. Now I'll connect the two copper wires to the snap connector of the 9-volt battery. This way, I can easily supply power to the wires when testing and bypassing the faulty LED chip. Next, I'll solder the copper wires to the battery connector. By melting a small amount of solder onto the joint, the wires are firmly fixed in place. This makes the connection strong, reliable, and able to handle repeated testing without coming loose. The solder joint looks shiny and smooth, firmly holding the copper wire to the battery connector. There are no loose ends or excess solder, which means the connection is solid and clean. This kind of joint ensures good conductivity and long-lasting stability during the repair process. Now I'll slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over the solder joint and apply heat to it. As the tubing shrinks tightly around a connection, it provides extra insulation, prevents short circuits, and makes the joint look neat and professional. Now I'll snap the connector onto the 9-volt battery and start testing the LED chips. The red wire will touch the positive terminal, and the black wire will touch the negative terminal. This way, we can correctly power each LED chip during the test and avoid reversing the polarity. I begin the test by gently touching the copper wire leads to each LED chip one by one. The working chips immediately light up with a steady glow, while the faulty one shows no response at all. This clear difference makes it easy to identify the damaged chip that's stopping the whole bulb from working. When I touch to the LED chip, nothing happens. It doesn't light up at all. This confirms that the chip is completely dead and needs to be bypassed for the bulb to work again. I'll mark the spot of the faulty LED chip with a pen so it's easy to see. This makes sure I won't lose track of the damaged part and can place the copper wire exactly where it needs to go during the repair. It doesn't light up because that LED chip has failed open. The junction inside is burned or the tiny bond wire is broken, so current can't flow through it. That's why you see the full 9 volts across the chip. There's no current path. In a series string, one open LED stops the whole line, so this dead chip blocks power to the rest. So I'll need to bridge the faulty chip. by connecting its two pads together. This way, the current can flow past the dead chip and continue through the rest of the LEDs, allowing the bulb to light up again. Using a small blade, this exposes the two contact pads underneath, giving me a clean surface to attach the copper wire and create a solid bypass connection. To fix this issue, I'll use a small piece of aluminum foil. To bridge the two contact pads of the faulty chip. The foil acts as a conductor, allowing the current to flow through and bypass the damaged LED, so the rest of the circuit can light up normally again. I'll cut a small piece of aluminum foil, stick it onto a piece of tape. And then carefully place it over the faulty LED chip. The foil makes contact with both pads. While the tape holds it firmly in place, creating a simple but effective bypass so the current can flow through. Now I'll put the LED bulb back into the socket and plug it in. This is a final test to see if the repair really works when connected to mains power. As soon as I switch on the power, the bulb lights up brightly and evenly, just like a brand new one. There's no flicker, no dim spots. The repair worked perfectly, and the LED is shining strong again. And that's it. With just a few simple tools and a little creativity, we managed to bring a dead LED bulb back to life instead of throwing it away. Not only does it save money, but it's also a great way to reduce waste and learn more about how electronics work. If you found this repair helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next DIY project. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.